So if you've clicked on this video, that means you want to learn how to build muscle. And today I'm going to tell you exactly that. My name is Reece Rockman, aka Rockard Fitness, and if you aren't already subscribed, do yourself a favor, hit that subscribe button and become a part of the Rockard Nation. Let's get this video to about 30 likes and let's hop into the topic. Now, to gain muscle, I like to look at 3 very important factors that will gear you to success. That being your nutrition, your training, and your recovery. Now for me, nutrition is going to be the most important part because this is actually going to determine whether you are going to gain muscle or whether you are not. In order to gain muscle, you have to be in what's called a caloric surplus. Now, a caloric surplus is simply eating more calories than your body burns. And in order to find whether you're in a surplus or not, you've got to know your maintenance calories. Now, your maintenance calories are the amount of calories you eat per day in order to maintain your current body weight. What you're going to do is you're going to take 200 to 300 calories, add it on top of that, and then you're going to be in your surplus. What this 200 to 300 calorie surplus is going to do is it's going to allow you to build muscle, gain strength, gain size, but you're not going to put on a lot of body fat, because if you put on too much body fat, then it's going to make the future process of dieting down a lot harder, which we don't want. Being in a caloric surplus will work for everyone, and I guarantee this, because if you're not gaining weight and you say you're in a surplus, then you aren't in a surplus. You're not eating enough weight to promote muscle growth.
It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
You're not eating enough food to promote muscle growth, so you've got to up the calories. You may have a very fast metabolism, therefore you've got to eat a lot more than your friend who may have a moderate to slow metabolism, who doesn't have to eat as much to grow. Your metabolism is going to be individualized to you, and unfortunately you can't really change that. There is no such thing as a person that can't gain weight and muscle. So just make sure that your calories are on point, you're eating enough protein, and that your macronutrients are doing well. Have a nice balance of protein, carbs, and fat. I like to have 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, and then the rest of my calories I'll fill up with carbs and fat. Now the next thing we're going to look at is training. Now, I am a natural athlete and all my clients are natural too, so these tips are going to be geared more towards natural lifters. Now, when you're natural, the number one thing that will allow you to gain muscle is progressive overload. Now, what is progressive overload, you may ask? And that's simply adding weight to the bar over time, doing more sets and reps with that same weight, or maybe performing the same amount of sets, reps, and weight, however, with better form and a better tempo. All these things will accumulate to progressive overload, and that'll be added to your muscle as more gains. Another key factor is training each muscle group at least twice per week. Now, the reason why I say at least twice per week is because when we train, we're actually elevating protein synthesis for up to 48 hours. But after that 48 hours, the levels will return back to normal. Therefore, you've got to hit that muscle again to reignite protein synthesis and keep the gains going. Also, make sure that your workout has a lot of compound lifts in, and a compound lift is an exercise that hits more than 1 muscle group per rep. So basically, when you do 1 rep of bench press, you're not just working your chest, but you're working your shoulders and your triceps as well. This way, it's a lot easier to apply progressive overload by adding weight to the bar compared to doing an isolation movement like a chest fly when you're only utilizing 1 muscle group. The final thing I'm going to look at is sleep. Now, the reason why I say sleep is because, believe it or not, your body actually grows while you're sleeping. The reason why is when you sleep, your body doesn't have to worry about performing other necessary tasks unlike our everyday lives, where we have to do things like work, eat, stand, and just participate in society. While you're sleeping, your body's repairing its muscles, but also restoring brain function and alertness. The ideal amount of sleep to get is between 8 to 10 hours. However, I recommend 6 to 8 being adequate enough, because sometimes we just don't have that luxury of sleeping between 8 to 10 hours. Also, don't neglect things like mobility, stretching, even cardio, which will all have effects on recovery and longevity. And remember, the longer you can lift for, the more gains you're going to make from year to year and decade to decade. So ladies and gents, this is exactly what you have to do in order to gain muscle. Don't forget to hit that like button for me if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you haven't. Also share this video with someone who you think is having trouble building muscle and who might benefit from it. rockhardcoaching@gmail.com is the email you need to contact if you want me to figure out your nutrition and training in order for you to get those results that you've always wanted. So guys, let's work together. Send me an email, tell me your goals, and we'll reach them, no problem. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you in the next video.